Hey everybody, I'm Eddie Ray and you're watching my YouTube channel. In this video we're in Manchester, Tennessee at Old Stone Fort Archaeological Park. Take a look and let's see what we've got. Alright, we're at the entrance of Old Stone Fort Campground. When you check into the park, you've got your little check-in station. Now, of course, if no one's here, you can't do that. You can meet back the following day or the following morning or the afternoon. This is a little general store. They have clothing for sale here. A couple of odds and ends for those of us who forget things, but otherwise it's just a little check-in post. You can purchase firewood here. It's $5 a bundle. And you know, there's someone here to talk to. So this is a nice little piece to come in, and for those of us who do forget things, for something to catch up on what we forgot. On the main drive coming into the campground, it consists of a main road and a few loops that loop off of it. We are in front of campsite 1 and then 2. Opposite of that side is site 51 and site 50. We'll do a tour of the couple of loops. You get to see a few sites, see what there is to offer. I tell you, one thing about this particular campground is it is very wooded. You can take a 90-degree day with all the tree shade. It's going to bring the temperature down considerably, which makes it pretty pleasant. Behind me is site 3 right here. And then next to site 3 behind Angie is site 4. Across from those is site 41 and then site 40. Now this campground consists of a variety of campers. A lot of them are pop-ups, a lot are tents, and then you have travel trailers and some fifth wheels. Most of the sites are a decline back down. They'll drop about a foot or so and then continue on down. So the first entrance or loop that you come down to belongs to campsites within the number 40s. Within that area and directly behind this wilderness is a bathhouse. That particular bathhouse is a little smaller than the one that we're closer to, but I'll give you a tour of the bathhouse that we are closer to, which is across from site 10, 11, 12. But just shows to show you there are a couple bathhouses here. Directly behind me is site 42. This site here is 43. And then the site with the fifth wheel in the round is site 44. As you can see, they all accommodate a larger rig with a larger truck, and there's plenty of space available. Here is site 45 and site 46. Now, one thing you have to watch on these campsites is they're closer in proximity to trees alongside the camper. Some of them, if you don't park right, you can't get your awning out. With the shade, it's not a huge issue, but in the event of rain or something of that sort, it'd be difficult. The next loop you come to are sites 29 through 38. It's just another loop, no different than the first one. Behind me you see here site 29, and then across from that is site 38. Now you can see the size of the camper they have here with the truck and the space that it provides. Okay, between sites 32 and over here 33, there are several places that have these square boxes. Our site has one. It's a tent pad, so it's leveled out, has pea gravel in the bottom of it, and works out well if you want to have a tent on a level surface. This here site, again, 33. Directly behind me is site 35, and beside 35 is that small bathhouse that I was talking about, between the first and second loops. Now, obviously, we are at site 10. Directly across from site 10 is site 16. You can see the space that they have over there. Availability to whatever. It's open and plenty of room. So as you can see, we're at campsite 10. This is site 10. Let me show you around a little bit. Walk through here. First thing I want to point out is we're full. Camper is as far back as it can go. Truck is back in at an angle, and we're just barely out of the roadway. So be mindful of that. If you got anything bigger than this 26-foot bunkhouse and a 4-door truck, it's going to be tight living for tight 10. Another thing we've noticed here at this particular park is our site is a very narrow site. They've built out a little porch, if you will, so you've got a little bit of walking area. We're not able to use our big carpet, so we use this grass carpet that we've collected over time. Works out pretty good. Along with this particular area, we have a burn pit, and then we have a tent platform, and then at the back of the site is our concrete picnic table with a grill. So you see our concrete picnic table with our grill. It's a pretty good site. It's obviously well shaded. Today it's supposed to be in the 90s, and you know, it's pretty reasonable out here. A little bit humid, but it's Tennessee weather, so we'll get what we expect out of that. Now, directly beside our site 10 is site 11. I spoke about the trees in the proximity of the awnings. This is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. This is a rather short site. I probably wouldn't want to put anything longer than about 20 feet in here, but right beside the site is this gigantic tree. So if you back up to the pad here and then to the bumper, try to put your awning out, you're going to run into an issue. So when you're making your reservations, make sure you take a look at that. Site 12, and then across from site 12 directly is this bathhouse. Now the bathhouse here has an open common area, so you go in, you pick left, go to men's, you pick right, go to women. So let's go in here in the men's restroom and take a look. I've already gone in, and there's no one in here. So there's a common area in here. Got a couple of sinks, it's got a map of the park, and then you have a right or left side which takes you to the men's restroom. This is the men's restroom. It's been freshly cleaned this morning. Spoke to the man doing it this morning. A couple of urinals, a couple of toilets here. They have a pretty nice sink with hand automated fixtures, and then there are 3 showers. The shower has a dressing area and it has a shower area. So that's all there is to it. It's not real big, but it's pretty adequate, and I like it. It's good and clean and refreshing, if you will. In front of the lower bathhouse, there's plenty of parking. There's probably 8 parking spaces, so there shouldn't be any room with finding issues to park if you want to drive your vehicle down here from a different area. Now, site 14 looks like a pretty ideal site. Back in your camper, you don't really have anybody on either side of you for any distance, so you're kind of in here by yourself. Next to site 14 is a parking area if you want to park your vehicle or a second vehicle. Site 16 and 17, good buddy sites. They back into one another. There's a couple of picnic tables and an open area behind that. You can play sports or you do whatever, hide and seek, all that kind of stuff. Perfect for that and some kids. Now, site 18, kindly back in the woods too. 19, same concept. Back here beside is the site 22. What do you think about site 22?
It's a site.
Okay. And now with site 22, obviously they've got a little travel trailer in there with pulled by an SUV. It's long enough that you can store them both in there and put your stuff out. Chairs and whatever else you want. A lot of these places have canopies, and I understand why. We actually had the opportunity for some bird droppings to land on our kitchen table while we were eating outside the other morning, so I can see why that's important. Site 23. Here at the exit to the campground, when you're finished your camping and got to dump your tanks, they have a 2-hole station here, and there's also a pressurized line to wash out your hose. Nothing for a direct connect, but just put it in there and clean it all out. This works pretty good. It's on the way out, and it's the last thing you get to see upon going out through the bridge as we came in. So here at Old Stone Fort, as you can see behind me is a large museum. It's also obviously shaped in the manner of a fort. We're going to go down to the museum. Looks like there's some ranger station down there, and I'm in an open area right now, and in this area they have demonstrations. They had an earlier ad-latl demonstration, and they're going to have some Native American tools. They've got a couple things set up for the weekend. Again, this is Labor Day weekend, so they've got plenty of things to do for us to keep busy. Just behind the museum, if you take the loop trail around the Indian Mound area, this quick little waterfall hike. kind of off the path. Looks like people have made it. But you get back down here, you go right to the bottom of these waterfalls, which is an overflow of the Duck River. Really a nice sight. Pretty back here. It's quiet aside from the rushing water. Really nice. Behind me you see one of the existing fort enclosures that's left. Obviously this is quite a feat. It goes right off to the Duck River. You can see the out impressions of the windows. There's a stairwell and walk down into the fort. It's very impressive. We've got signs asking for people to help preserve these type things, which is certainly a need. So on our hike we elected to take the enclosure trail. It's a large loop trail, and then behind me here you see the enclosure. It's all wheat grass field. So I find interesting as for this park, the enclosure or the enclosure trail is all surrounded by water at the bottom, and the upward side of this is the enclosure. So it's quite a trek in elevation to get up to the enclosure area. So this is all out on a point surrounded by water to this point, and then it goes straight up, and then you've got this big flat open area. Pretty impressive for this earthwork. Another nice feature they have here at Old Stone Fort is this playground. It's a relatively new playground, great for small kids obviously. Within the playground it's a large area of picnic tables. They're all spread throughout here. There's also a restroom area, and there's quick access to the Duck River just down the hill. If you want to do fishing or a little bit adventurous, you could utilize that. So note that that's here and available. Within the picnic area and playground also is a large pavilion. If you have some type of family event that you'd like to do, a lot of times family reunions, those are good too. It's got several picnic tables within it. And Padao, we've made it home. I always do this follow-up video after we get home. There are so many things that you have to do once you're here. You have to unpack, close out, whatever it works to you. Your food's out, settle down. So we left today early from Old Stone Fort. The electrical issue that they were having was just, you know, don't want to deal with it. And it gets hot and sticky at night, have fans going, and they go on and off, on and off, keep going on and off. So I went up to the main office and said, look, it's an electrical issue, it's a problem for us, we're going to leave early. So they refunded us the nights that we didn't stay. So that was nice of them. They obviously recognized that there's an issue. They said that they've been dealing with this issue for a while now, and the park has been doing a renovation for the past 4 years, but other parks keep moving into their slot. So they've put on the back burner. Frustrating, no doubt. Old Stone Fort was a good park. We enjoyed it there. The campground would be very nice in the event that the electrical were working properly. It's well shaded and a great place for just bicycling, hiking, and a little bit of fishing and kayak or canoeing if you want to. So it's not an entire or a total downfall, but there were some small setbacks. Nonetheless, it was a good trip. Glad to get an experience and do something new, which is what we always like to do. So, if you're a first-time viewer, thank you for viewing, and make sure that you subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up. And if you're a returning viewer, thank you for that. So, and if you'll continue as we do, follow along and continue to dream big.